Welcome to the John L. Sanders Show. Tonight we have a very exciting show featuring Elaine Turner and Dai Time Glitz. And now, here's John L. Sanders.
Hey everyone, welcome to the John L. Sanders Show on this wonderful Sunday night. Tonight we have Elaine Turner. How you doing, Elaine?
Wonderful, thank you for asking, and how are you?
I'm doing great. You're on my show. I know you for a while, and you finally made it to the John L. Sanders Show.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Okay, tell us what you're going to talk about tonight.
Actually, we're going to talk about insurance. I have an independent insurance agency. Actually, I have a business partner. Her name is Natasha Arrington. We started the agency about in 2007. We service all of the Georgia area. We focus on auto, home, life, and commercial insurance. Because we're an independent agent, we are able to shop a person's rate. So instead of just having one company to look at for a person, we may have multiple companies to look at for a person. And we also service the Hispanic community.
Oh, well, that's awesome. You know, I was just out of church today, and I was, well, my daytime job, I was actually at a church today talking with Hispanic folks about how they need to get indulged more into the community. Keep on going. Keep on going.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things with the Hispanic community that we would like to address is that a lot of times, because of the language barriers, when they go in to do business, any type of business, a lot of times they're not given the best rate. So at our agency, we do have someone that is bilingual, and we can offer them the best rate. We're not just there to collect their money,
Right.
but we're there to provide them insurance and educate them on the process as well.
Okay, so let's get some questions here. So I have a few of them I have for you. So would you like to ask me? Would you like me to ask some questions?
Absolutely, I'd love that.
Okay, great. For instance, if I'm a first-time car buyer, or if my wife or somebody in the family just got a car or they had a car, how can I get the best rate to get a good? Okay, we're gonna scratch that. Scratch. Okay, if I just got insurance, how could I get a good rate for my car?
Okay, there are a couple things that you want to do to lower your rate or get a better rate. One of them is you want to have all of your vehicles insured with one company. The reason for that, of course, is the multi-car discount. The other thing that you can do to look at to lower your rate is to have all of your other policies, such as your homeowners. You get a multi-policy discount or what we call a multi-line discount. The other thing that you can do is if you've taken any defensive driving courses, a lot of times that will lower your rate as well. And then also looking at how you use the vehicle. A couple of our carriers reward you if you don't use your car during certain times. They give you an additional discount. The other thing that you can do to lower your rate is make sure that your deductibles aren't too low. It's not the norm anymore to do $250 deductibles. Most people do $500 deductibles. So those type of things will lower your rate.
Well, let me ask you one question. Like, some people know what deductibles are, sometimes they don't. What is actually a deductible? I just want everybody to be informed what a deductible is.
Absolutely, that was a great question, and thank you for asking. What a deductible is, that's how much that you pay before the insurance company pays. So if you have a $500 deductible, and let's say you've had a collision and you are at fault, that is how much that you will pay before the insurance company pays. So you will pay that directly to the repair facility that takes care of your car. So that's what a deductible is. It's how much you pay first.
Okay, I'm gonna go on another question. I'm asking real questions because some people just don't know. So for instance, if I cancel my insurance, will insurance cover me? Even though I paid, even if I started a year ago and I've been with you guys for about a year, and I just canceled, maybe I just couldn't pay that bill, will you guys cover me?
If you've had an accident and the policy has been canceled, there will be no coverage extended at the time of loss.
Okay.
In order for there to be coverage, there must be, in order for the claim, to be paid, there must be coverage at the time of loss.
Okay, for instance, let's go on another one. What type of coverage would I need? I mean, what's the best type of coverage?
Well, that depends from person to person and how you use the vehicle. what may be good for you may be different for another. If you have an older vehicle that's 10 to 12 years old, you may just choose to have liability on that particular vehicle. If you have a vehicle and it has a loan, whether it's a newer vehicle or not, but if there is a loan, the lien holder expects you to have comp and collision on there. You do not have to have roadside assistance or car rental, but you will need, according to the contract with a lien holder, you will have to carry comp and collision coverage. So again, that particular answer just varies on that particular person's needs.
Okay, so since we're on this part, okay, if I do get tied in some type of situation, how many estimates should I get on a car? I mean, how many estimates should I go out and get before I, get to one person so my car can get fixed, so I can get to one company?
Well, usually with most companies, they have preferred body shops. So a lot of times that's not necessary in reference to a comp or collision claim, because a lot of them do. Now, in an instance where you're with a carrier that does not have preferred body shops that they deal with, then 2 to 3 estimates is a pretty good idea. Because unless you get 2 or 3, you have no way of knowing if the first one you received was a good quote, the second one. And then sometimes people unfortunately may hear the word insurance, and they just may escalate the price. So it's customary to maybe do at least 2 or 3 to make sure that you're getting the best rate. And even after you've paid your deductible, and you're in a person's mind, well, it's not my money. But usually insurance companies have a pretty good idea of what it costs to repair a certain part of the vehicle. So it's a good idea to do.
So if I go, for instance, to Jim's repair shop and Alan's repair shop, if Jim says he's going to fix, like I had a fender bender where my front end's bashed in, and Jim said it's going to cost $5,000, and Al said it's going to cost $10,000. Does it mean Al can do a better job than Jim?
Absolutely not. That's applicable to anything in life. Just because it costs more doesn't mean that you're getting better. Just means that they just charge more money.
Okay, so for instance, again, if Jim and Al, okay, does your company check these companies out before they even touch the car?
Well, it depends. Some of them, as I mentioned earlier, they have preferred body shops. And if not, that's the customer's due diligence, getting their car repaired there. Because if they don't, then you're choosing who you want to go to. We're not making that decision for you. If there is a preferred body shop, all of their checkpoints in terms of what they require you to charge, the service that's rendered, your availability, all of that is in compliance to whatever that particular company has set forth. Now, if there is no preferred body shop, then you as a customer are choosing who you go to. So it would be your due diligence to make sure, that they charge fair prices. And there again, that's where the 2 or 3 come into, because if someone charges $10,000 and someone charges $5,000 and someone else charges $6,000, $10,000 is way out of line. Okay. You would not want to take your vehicle there.
But let me ask you, just to ask this last question about this. Okay, if Jim over here, if Jim is not on the preferred list with your insurance company, and Jim fixed the car, and maybe 2 months down the line, that situation where he had fixed, it just breaks down again. Now with insurance, will I take the car back and insurance pay for that again? Or?
Well, if it's due to the workmanship of Jim's body shop, it would be the workmanship of Jim's body shop to repair that, because the insurance company has done their duty. They have paid for your car to be repaired. You have paid the deductible. So if you've gotten faulty work from Jim's body shop, it's Jim's body shop to take care of that without passing that cost on to you. Now, if in fact you're saying that an adjuster or someone overlooked it, then that's a totally different situation. But if you're strictly talking about the workmanship of Jim, then that would be Jim's responsibility.
Okay, so the best thing to do is go to a preferred body shop that you guys pick.
That would be the best thing to do. Now, there are some companies that do not have preferred body shops, and that's when an insured has to go out and get their estimates. Not everyone always have preferred body shops. So it is If you're with a company that does, it is in your best interest to go that route. Again, they have asked certain questions. There are certain requirements that that body shop must fulfill in order to do business with that insurance company.
Okay, great. So I know you guys hear about what goes on when you have a car. So what would you like to hit on next? We're going to go to renters insurance?
Well, we can hit renters insurance, and we can just focus on one or two more things that I think people sometimes forget or don't remember that's really important. Insurance cards. We do have a reporting state, and it's been in place for quite some time now. However, it is advisable to still keep your insurance cards in your vehicle. There can be a few things that can go wrong with reporting, such as just a human typo.
Right.
That happens because that's about 17 digits long. So someone can type something in, key it in wrong, and it not report, and you're stopped, and you're paying your premium every month, but it's not reporting. And that's because just a human element has been involved and just made a typo. So when you have your insurance cards, that validates in fact that you do have insurance. Naturally, when that issue is resolved, call the insurance company or call the agent's office, and they'll go ahead and get that taken care of.
Right, because I know a few years ago, there was at one point an insurance card was really relinquished, but now it's better to have your insurance card,
It's
right?
still advisable.
Okay.
You don't have to, just because it's a long set of numbers, that something can happen. And the last thing that we want to happen is that you're stopped at 2 a.m. in the morning and you can't get anyone.
Right.
You're having that card validates in fact that you do have insurance. So it's still a good idea. It's not necessarily required, but it's still a good idea.
Okay.
And then the other thing that I wanted to touch on was undisclosed drivers.
Oh,
Georgia has really cracked down on undisclosed drivers. I imagine they've cracked down everywhere. But a lot of times people want to allow other people to drive their vehicles without putting them on the policy.
well, let me ask you a question. On that part, I'm even kind of confused on that because, okay, say like if I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling good, you know, and Jim wants to take me to the store. I mean, does that count? Is that, I mean, how does that work?
You're giving him permission to do that. That'll be totally up to the claim adjusters. What they're really looking for is that they're making sure that they are collecting premium for the risk. Let's just use youthful operators. I know you have sons. I have sons. I know yours are not of driving age yet. But
You better not drive the car.
yeah, but sons are a lot more expensive. Their premium is brutal. It's just brutal. And there's really nothing that you can do to avoid that. It is what it is. So a lot of times people will have youthful operators or other people living in the home, and they will not share that information.
Yeah.
The insurance company is not collecting premium to match that risk. So at the time of a loss, because you have not provided that information to them or disclosed that information to them, they have a right to review the claim. So just rule of thumb, if there is someone that's driving your vehicle, that you should add them to the policy. If you don't want to pay the premium for them, then it's probably best that you don't add them. I'm sorry, that they don't drive your vehicle.
Okay, so let me, now, just to get everybody going here, so if Jim wants to get in the car, if Jim wants to drive my car, I can add him to my premium, right?
You can add them to
And
your
so,
policy.
give or take, how much would that cost? Maybe,
That varies. That's one of those questions that I can't answer simply because it varies. It varies on
Jim's driving record
it
as well,
varies
right?
on Jim's driving record.
Okay, we're gonna
as
watch
well.
out, Jim.
Yeah, you
Okay.
better watch out for Jim.
Yeah, watch out, yeah.
Watch out for Jim.
Especially got the body shop too.
Yeah, Jim's a little shady there.
Yeah. So basically, it's good to have full coverage in it, and just in case cover Jim as well, right?
Well, the full coverage, here's how that works, or comp and collision. The liability portion of the policy is what takes care of the other party in the event of an accident.
Right.
So Jim is driving your vehicle and Jim hits the car in front of you. The liability portion of your policy is what takes care of the vehicle in front of you
Right.
that Jim hit.
Right.
The repair to your vehicle, because now your front end is messed up, that's where your comp and your collision comes in.
Right.
Let's take that scenario a step further. You have a vehicle that just has liability coverage on there. The liability on the policy is what takes care of the vehicle in front of you, the damages that are done to the rear end of that car that Jim hit. Now, because you just have liability on that car, there will be no physical damage coverage for that vehicle, meaning we would not repair, or the insurance carrier would not repair that vehicle. But in terms of being responsible to make sure the other party is taken care of, you would have done that by making sure that all drivers are exposed, you know, that we know about them, and also that there is coverage on the vehicle. So you would be covered in a situation like that.
Okay, so now what was the other, you said comp. I just want everybody to know what's the difference.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Comprehensive is your fire, theft, vandalism, or glass breakage. You come home that night, you live in an apartment, you wake up the next morning, your vehicle is stolen. That would be a comprehensive claim. A collision is anything that upsets the vehicle. That's hitting of anything.
Right.
A lot of times people think that if it is not an additional vehicle, that is not a collision claim. A collision claim is anything that hits someone. So if it's you and you hit a tree, it's still a collision claim, so it would fall under collision.
Okay.
So that's the difference between the two.
All right, and what else? What other type of insurance do you have?
Well, we also do homeowners and renters insurance.
Okay.
We do life insurance and as well as commercial insurance. Homeowners or renters insurance is exactly what it implies. Homeowners insurance covers the structure of your home as well as the contents. It has liability coverage. It has some additional coverages in there. So that covers the structure of the home. Renters insurance covers your contents. That is how much you have inside of your home. Now that's, sometimes we may have someone that calls our office and say, give me the cheapest renter's insurance. Well, that doesn't tell me a whole lot because I don't know what's in your house. I don't know if you have a mahogany poster bed. I don't know if you have Ethan and Alan's furniture.
Do you take an inventory? Do you get
Absolutely.
receipts, or how do you get
Absolutely. Well, what you would be doing, I mean, most times when people call me for renter's insurance, they're not looking at receipts. So usually what we say to a person to help them come up with that amount is think in terms of if there was a fire, how much would it cost to replace everything? And then you'd be amazed at how quickly everyone will start thinking, okay, I paid $1,000 for that TV, I paid, you know, $1,800 for my couch. So those are the type of numbers that I need for someone to kind of calculate in order to assist us in coming up with a rate or amount of coverage that they would need for the renter's insurance.
So what if somebody, for instance, just comes up? I mean, when you ask them that question, do they have to give you the question right away? I mean, the answer right away? Or usually somebody takes about a week to get back with you?
Usually.
I mean, because sometimes you might have somebody, if you ask them that question, somebody might say $50,000. I mean.
Most times, believe it or not, it's rare that people will say they'll call you back. You know, most times when you ask that, most apartments, 2-3 bedrooms, you probably have at minimum $20,000.
Right.
If you have a 1-bedroom, you don't have enough space to, you know, unless you just bought at the high end of everything. But typically, you know, a 2 or 3 bedrooms, you normally know to start at probably $20,000,
Right.
anywhere from maybe $15,000 to $20,000. If you've just started out, you're a college student and you just started out, you know, that's probably going to be anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 because you just started out. But a seasoned person that's probably in their 30s or something, they probably have $20,000+. So believe it or not, people can answer that question relatively quickly. It's not that often that we get someone that says, "Well, let me call you back." Most times they can pretty much come up with that number. Yeah.
No, I mean, just because I asked, because what if somebody comes up with an outrageous number? You can tell if that's a scam. I mean.
Well, no, I would have no way of knowing if it's a scam. And the reason I would have no way of knowing is because, again, I don't know what's on the inside of your apartment.
Right.
So I would have no way of knowing. Now, unfortunately, rates are high, whether it's home or auto, due to fraudulent claims. People do things of that nature. Not necessarily inflate the amount that they have when it comes to paying that premium, but at the time of a loss, they got 20 Gucci's They have
20 Gucci's as a
purses.
Oh my
They
goodness.
got 5 iPads.
Wow.
They got 3 iPhones. You know, so, but at the time of a loss, a claim adjuster is going to want some level of documentation.
Right.
Because if you're buying you're buying an iPad, there's usually some type of paper trail. Most times people don't carry cash and they're going somewhere to pay cash. That's usually a credit card type of transaction. So at the time of a loss, if someone is trying to do that, sometimes they'll get tripped up at that particular time. Now, there can legitimately be, where people have items and they legitimately don't have a receipt, but they may have pictures. So it's a good thing when you have renter's insurance. A picture is worth 1,000 words.
So it's good to take pictures of your appliances.
Absolutely, yeah. Your personal property, your TVs. You could be a techno person and just really into flat screen TVs, whereas another person may not be. It doesn't mean that they don't have it,
Right.
Because they just may be a techno person. However, in that particular instance, as you just mentioned, it's a very good idea to take pictures. With your smartphone, just kind of go through your home and take an inventory. High price items, keep like a manual or a receipt.
Right.
For those things that at the time of a loss that you are able to validate those things.
Well, you hear that, folks? This is a 101 on insurance. All right, so what else we need to cover?
Well, I want to cover on the homeowners, if we can talk about those vicious pets.
Okay.
Rottweilers, not Rottweiler, pit bulls. There are a few other ones. I want to say there are about 5 of them. 4 or 5 of those dogs. A lot of times, insurance companies will exclude them, meaning if Rocco bites the neighbor child,
Right.
And this, of course, is at the time of application that they're made aware.
Right.
But Rocco bites someone, if that particular dog is excluded, that means that they won't pay for the damages, the bite, the medical bills, for that type of stuff. So those are things that you want to make sure, because you as a consumer may choose to take your policy somewhere else.
Right.
You may not want to insure your home with that particular carrier. So that's another thing to look at with homeowners, and also agents. Agents are here for a very good reason when it comes to homeowners. A lot of times, and I can't recall the year, but you guys all remember several years ago when we had the hail damage, the roofs.
Right.
Everybody got their roofs repaired. That's about a good $10,000 to $12,000.
And the cars as well, too.
Yes, that's about a good $10,000 to $12,000. Some companies, insurance carriers, of course, paid their claims, but they had to pull out. When you have a claim, it is best to call your agent. A lot of carriers now, they do have the 1-800 numbers where you can just call and file that. But don't bypass us. And the reason not to bypass us is because, and it's not to minimize or to take away the validity of a claim to you, but a lot of times we may need to have dialogue about that, because that claim, by the time they pay out, because of your deductible, it may only be a couple $100 over your deductible, and carriers will cancel you.
Well, let me ask one question, because sometimes if you're in a situation and you can't afford to pay your deductible right away, I mean, can you guys work it out with the client?
No, that's totally between them and the person that repairs it. So that will just simply be a delayed claim because you don't have the money at that particular time. But and you could probably even also work with the place let's just say it's a roof, the roofer may be willing to do something of that nature, but in terms of the insurance company, they will pay what their amount is, and then it's left up to the client and the place that they're getting the services rendered from.
Wow. Well, I got one more question as well. Could I buy coverage now? I mean, could I buy a policy now and get coverage later? I mean, how would that work as well?
Can you buy a policy? Well, if you buy a policy, at the time that there is an exchange of money and the signature, coverage is in force.
Okay.
Yes,
Right.
coverage is in force at that particular time. Yes, that's what makes it valid.
Are you guys getting this? I mean, I hope everybody's getting this, because, if you don't get this and you go out there and do something opposite, kind of run into a little problem there. Okay, and what else we need to cover? What else some important things we need to cover?
Well, we talked about lowering auto insurance. Let's talk about the same thing with
Yeah, let me
homeowners.
ask you a question about that. You know, that's a theory going around. Might be a conspiracy theory. I don't know. They say that ladies have low insurance. Women have low insurance when they get 18 or 19. And besides, what about a guy who gets insurance or get a car when he's 18 or 19? Is that true? The woman's rate is lower than the guy's rate, or the guy's rate is higher? Is that
That's not a
theory?
conspiracy
Okay.
theory.
I got kind of nervous. I got two boys. You know, I don't want to.
That's not a conspiracy
Okay,
theory.
amen,
There is
amen.
truth to
Okay,
that. There
okay.
is truth. The reason for that is typically women, we mature a lot faster.
Well,
than our male
I don't know about
counterparts.
that. I gotta talk to my buddy William about that.
Well,
I don't know.
that's usually kind of how it goes. Women, mature, young girls, they mature a little bit faster, so their rates tend to be a little bit less at that age.
But why is that? Why is that?
Well, you gotta talk to God on that.
Okay, I mean, I was about to start a debate on that. I mean, that ain't right, you know.
And guys, they're easily distracted. They're visual. So they're driving a car. They tend to be distracted a little bit more. And there are other reasons that in order for them to do that, there are statistics.
Okay.
So that's why it is the way that it is. There's been research behind that to prove that, and then they have a nice little premium attached to that.
They sure do.
So that's not a conspiracy.
Let me ask you, I know that this question's maybe off the record, but what if somebody has a felony for drunk driving? And how would that, there's a lot of folks out there that got felonies for drunk driving. I'm speaking up for you guys.
Okay.
How would that work?
Well, if they've had a DUI, if they are with a preferred carrier, a lot of times they're going to end up being canceled.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
Even if it's the first DUI, they could be canceled if they...
absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, they'll
Now-
be canceled at their renewal.
Wow.
Yes.
You guys don't give those guys a break?
No, the carriers themselves, they don't choose to do that. However, because I am an independent agent, I can take care of you.
Okay. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy's got to go to Elaine. Even if the guy has, how about if he has 2 DUIs? I've seen those cases.
Well, you know what? We can address that as well, John, but there is a nice little premium attached to that.
Oh,
So we can address that.
Now,
Absolutely.
Now, let me ask you a question. If the guy came, with his court papers, hey, I was doing community service, I'm rehabilitated, will that help?
Not at all.
Okay, I just try to help you guys out. Listen. Elaine, one more question.
Yes.
What about life insurance for kids?
It is definitely a good idea to get life insurance for kids. A lot of times people don't want to have the conversation about life insurance because we don't want to think in terms of something happening to our children prematurely.
Right.
However, there are several good reasons to get life insurance for children. One, that when you get it for them and they're young, the rate's inexpensive.
Wow.
The other thing is you protect their insurability, meaning that they'll have a policy and no one can take it away from them, no matter what their health risk later on in life. So yes, life insurance on children is a very good thing to get, yes.
Okay, that gets your life insurance for your kids. Okay, Elaine, I'm so glad you came, I'm so happy, I'm ecstatic, and I hope you come back sometime.
Absolutely, I would love to. Thank you for having me. I certainly do appreciate it.
Well, give these folks your information.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and give these folks.
Again, the name of my company is AGNT Insurance and Financial Services. We're located at 1860 Atlanta Road, Southeast, number 200, Smyrna, Georgia, 30080, and we can be reached at 678-229-1823.
All right, we'll be back in a minute with a wonderful girl group, Dai Time Glitz, so get excited.
February is Black History Month. But why? Where did Black History Month come from? It began with this man, Carter G. Woodson, a historian and writer. Woodson noticed that his people were, quote, overlooked, ignored, and even suppressed by the writers of history textbooks and the teachers who use them, end quote. So he started a Black History Week in 1926, and people celebrated it enthusiastically. They started Black History clubs, and teachers started recognizing the contributions of Black Americans in their classrooms. He chose February, by the way, because it held the birthdays of both Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, two men he believed had done tremendous work for the rights and liberties of African Americans. It took another 50 years, though, for Black History Month to become officially recognized by our government. The president at the time, Gerald Ford, said that we should seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. Here's the funny thing, though. Carter G. Woodson hoped that someday people would no longer celebrate Black History Month. He saw the day when it would no longer be necessary, when finally we would see Black history in America for what it really is, an essential part of American history.
Dai Time Glitz. How you guys doing? Good. Ladies, what to say? Wow, look at everybody so cute. Everybody gonna put my legs like this. I can do this?
Yes.
Okay, great. So tell me, little ladies, what is daytime?
I'm Daytime.
Okay.
I'm 7 years old,
Mhm.
and I have my new single called My Titty, written by me, and this is my group, Glitz.
Okay, well, tell me your names and ages.
Hi, my name is Courtney. They call me Court, and I am 9 years old.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Ash, and I'm 7 years old. Hi, they call me KK, and I'm 8 years old.
Okay, that's awesome. You guys go to the same school together?
Only 3 of us. Those 2,
Mhm.
and she goes to a different school.
Okay. Well, how did you ladies meet?
Some of us were already related, and some
Who's related?
us two.
Okay, you guys are cousins?
Yes.
I like to say cousins. So they're cousins. Okay, cool. And you two are related?
No, we're friends.
Okay, you're friends. Okay. So I got a very important question. What is the style of Daytime Glitz? What's the style?
We're big, bright, and bold, and colorful. We like to mix colors and patterns. We
Wow.
love to rock our colorful, vibrant hair bows.
Oh wow. You guys think I can get one? I don't know how I'm gonna stick it in my hair, but I mean I have to grow some hair first, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you another question. Why should other kids support Daytime Glitz?
Kids should support us because we believe that kids should speak from down deep in their heart and not from other people telling them to say, like, you can and can't do this and that.
So basically, if you have something you want to do deep down inside, just go out and do it, right?
Yes.
Rock the art, support the art,
Uh-huh.
including ballet,
Uh-huh.
music, and art, and etc.
So you do ballet as well?
I do music
Mhm.
and dance.
Okay. And what do you do?
I also do music and dance and
Hey guys, that's Ash. And what do you do?
I sort of do music and dance too. So.
Okay. And what do you do?
I sing, dance, I basically do everything.
Oh, wow. She's a multitasker, right? Right. So let me ask you the most important questions for all the questions in the whole wide world. How can we find you guys?
On Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook
Wow.
at It's Daytime, and on YouTube on My Tutu. And my single is for sale everywhere.
So who's the lead singer? Okay, she's just lead singer?
Yes.
Is she the spokesperson too?
What's the spokesman?
You talk for the group sometimes? Yes, off and on?
Um,
Or everybody just talks together when you guys ask them questions?
Like, I just talk about myself, like, a social media and
Oh.
stuff, so that's, like, I would kind of consider myself as a spokesperson.
Oh.
but-
Well, maybe you can be my spokesperson for the John L. Sanders Show. How about that? All right. So guess what? We will come back with Daytime Glitz. They will perform, so people stay tuned because I'm excited. You're excited. You know why? Because you're on the John Sanders Show. John L. Sanders Show.
on your tutu so we can go and play. 'Cause all around the world they rock 'em every day with their tutus. They tutu. On Monday, I will not eat tutu. On Tuesday, I will not have a tutu. On Wednesday, I will not eat tutu. I will tutu. I will tutu. On Monday, I will not eat tutu. On Tuesday, I will not have a tutu.